13 Pacifier substitute for toddler. Introduction. Before you face the fight to get your small child to sleep at night, here are some options to help make life a little easier. These are some of the most widely used pacifier alternatives, taken from our list of toddler pacifier substitutes, or some people call it a binky. These products come in all different design and styles. The arch design is the most famous one and has patented design. However, being waken up by your little one, especially during the night, can become an actual struggle over time. But there is a way to avoid this unpleasantness. Choose one or more of these 13 great options to help make getting your child back to sleep easier and quicker. You will be able to sleep through the night after you have selected at least one option from this list. Breastfeeding. Lucky you. Breastfeeding is an excellent substitute for a pacifier because the nipple is a natural pacifier. The way babies and nursing mothers use them encourage babies to self-soothe and regulate their sleep patterns. No one has to be forced to use a pacifier. If you don't want to use it, the child doesn't have to. Breastfeeding is a handy tool for parents of both infants and toddlers. If you are not breastfeeding, you can use a soft adult-sized silicone nipples. The soft nipple will act as substitute for a pacifier. Rocking and bouncing. Rocking and bouncing babies is a method of self-soothing. This method is why it makes it the most popular toddler pacifier substitute. By rocking and bouncing, a baby can enjoy the comfort of being held by a parent or even a teddy bear, which is another excellent alternative for getting your child to sleep at night. Swaddling, sleeping bag. Swaddling is another method of self-soothing. Similar to rocking and bouncing, swaddling is an adequate toddler pacifier substitute. It's both a practical and a highly effective choice for you to make when looking for ways to get your child to sleep through the night consistently. It can be used from birth until about 4 months of age, which makes it very convenient. White noise. White noise is also an excellent pacifier substitute for babies and toddlers. Babies are more sensitive to the sounds around them than adults and usually prefer white noise, which can be created by an air conditioner, fan, or just about anything that creates a soothing sound. It's one of the most effective ways to get your baby to sleep through the night. Security blanket. It was initially made for adults, but many children seem to enjoy the comfort provided by security blankets. It provides little ones with warmth and reassurance. Security blankets are helpful for children who are coming off a pacifier and have trouble sleeping. Toys. In general, toys are another excellent toddler pacifier substitute because they mimic sucking a pacifier. This is one of the safest ways to get your child to sleep without being forced to use a pacifier. You can choose from different types of toys to keep your child entertained and occupied while he is sleeping through the night. The blanket is good at helping babies to go to sleep because it can help them settle and your little one a sense of security. A warm, secure blanket can be an excellent pacifier substitute for your baby. Co-sleeping. Co-sleeping can help when you stop giving your little one the pacifier. It also helps your baby to sleep through the night consistently. Unlike putting your child in their crib on his own, co-sleeping can help improve your child's overall health and quality of life by helping them get better sleep habits. Night light projector. This type of night light projector is convenient for children who want to sleep but cannot fall asleep unless there is a light. When you need to put your child in the crib, make sure to turn on the night light projector and leave it on for a while so that it will help your child fall asleep. It will distract from pacifier suckling and the night lights will provide a sense of security. Starting around 18 months, a toddler has likely formed strong feelings of attachment to his pacifier.babysleepsite.com. Thumb sucking. Thumb sucking is another great pacifier substitute for toddlers. Many sleep experts recommend that parents do not try to stop a child from sucking his thumb because it can become a source of comfort while he sleeps, and it helps him to self-soothe. This is one of the safest options that offer the most benefits. Weaning pacifiers. With the use of weaning pacifiers or binky, babies and toddlers can become independent. When your child is ready to put a pacifier in his mouth, it should be slowly and gently. If an older toddler pulls the pacifier out of his mouth after sucking on it, it may be easily replaced. The same applies to sucking a thumb. When your child is ready to stop, gradually let go of the thumb and let him learn how to soothe himself. Drink warm water. One of the oldest pacifier substitutes, warm water, may be good for you if you are ready to stop using the pacifier. To make it easier to give your child a drink of warm water, Try choosing water bottles in different shapes and sizes with lids that little fingers can easily open when you need to drink outside the house. Whatever method you choose, always remember to watch closely for signs that your child may not be ready to stop using the pacifier. It still might have a strong emotional attachment to it. Be patient. Do not forget to be patient with your child because it will take some time before he or she can sleep comfortably without the pacifier. Be gentle with your child so that he is not afraid of his new environment, and give him gentle reminders if he or she slips back into old habits. Never force him to use the pacifier substitution you have chosen, and never scold him when he cries after giving up the pacifier. Like all other phases, this one will pass soon enough. It can be very emotionally for a child to let go of their beloved binky. Also, you might need to change your nighttime parenting style until your little one gets fully adjusted to sleep without its pacifier, binky. Tender loving care. To me is the best pacifier substitute in the world because it's more practical than a baby swaddle, and the child will be able to move their arms and legs freely. If you want more info about this pacifier substitute, have good bedtime routine and follow the tenets of a good sleep routine, and now you can get your little one sleep without the pacifier. You can also turn it into little story, by singing Bye Bye Binky, or even have a Bye Bye Binky party. By explaining to your child that the Binky Fairy is coming to collect the Binky box. Pros and cons of pacifiers. Pros of pacifiers. There are many benefits to the pacifier. For example, the pacifier can help relieve your baby's pain and discomfort. If your baby has teething pain or acid reflux, using a pacifier can have many benefits. It can help your baby feel better and more comfortable. A pacifier can also be used to prevent SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. If you use the pacifier at night when you put your child in his crib, it will decrease the risk of SIDS. Cons of pacifiers. It may be difficult for you to wean your child off the pacifier. Even though you might want to stop giving them the pacifier, it can be hard to break them of their bad habit, especially if they have been using it for a long time. If your child refuses to give the pacifier up completely, try to wean him slowly. Pacifiers can be a choking hazard if your child is teething or takes a large bite. They can also be a potential source of ear infections since they are so common, and many babies do not wash their pacifiers properly. Using a pacifier can hinder your child's language development. If your child does not make eye contact or uses a lot of gestures, he may understand when you are asking for the pacifier. However, if you give him the pacifier before he has any of these communication skills, he will not be able to answer back correctly. As your child gets older and still using pacifier, the dentist would advise you to stop using a pacifier. Any reputable dentist will say that. However, most pediatric dentists are not to worry about pacifier when the children are small. These habits are normally stopped by kids over time. For some kids that are so focused on walking around and sucking on the pacifier 24/7, they are less likely to have spontaneous speech, make sounds, or even babble. YourKidsTable.com. When to stop using pacifiers. This is very personal, and the decision will change for each child. A parent's own comfort level comes into play, as well as how independent their child is becoming. If your child is able to sleep through the night without a pacifier and doesn't have a problem going to sleep without it, then it may be time to stop using it. For some children, changing from one pacifier to another can be just as confusing as changing the shape of the pacifier or taking it away completely. In this case, there are no definite rules about when to change or how to change a pacifier. If your child accepts the new pacifier, then you can consider switching it to the older one. If not, then you may have to wait until your child is ready to give up the old one completely. How to stop using pacifiers. It is essential that if you are going to stop using a pacifier, that your child be well rested with lots of energy and patience, because each child will react differently. For some children, it can be a big transition. Go to bed with your child's pacifier and let him fall asleep as usual, but take the pacifier away at some point during the night. Be prepared to repeat this process several nights in a row until your child becomes too tired to use it during sleep. Why should you stop pacifiers? There are several reasons why you should stop using a pacifier. These include: chewing on the pacifier can irritate the ear of your child and cause infection. Also, the pacifier gives your child something to hold onto, which can cause choking. As your child's teeth grow, he will be able to use his voice to communicate with you and go to sleep much easier without a pacifier. As your child grows older, other less simple problems can develop. Coming in contact with the pacifier can cause ear infections, rotten teeth and stomach issues for your child. You don't have to use one to have a healthy child. Many children do fine without them. It is easier to soothe your child without using a pacifier. It can become the center of a power struggle between you and your child, which is not suitable for either one of you. It can make it difficult to breastfeed your child. It can slow down the child's speech, and they could even have speech problems later on. Using a pacifier can be a habit that is hard to break. Top 5 reasons why should you stop pacifiers. Top 5 reasons why should you stop pacifiers. According to the American Academy of Family Physicians, AAFP, and the AAP, it is best to wean your child between 6 to 12 months of age to avoid middle ear infections, especially if your child is prone to them. momlovebest.com. What happens if your child refuses to give up the pacifier? Although it should be a last resort, it is essential to break the pacifier habit before it becomes a more severe problem. Suppose you have tried other methods of breaking the pacifier habit and your child refuses to give up the pacifier. This is normal when that happens. You may need to consider whether or not your child has been exposed to any bacteria that could cause an infection. You may also need to consider whether he has developed a habit of sucking on other objects such as his thumb or fingers. The best way to break your child's reliance on the pacifier or other oral objects is to remove the pacifier from his life slowly. Begin with a method that works best for you and your child while at the same time helping your child deal with his feelings. Some methods include reward system. Instead of punishing him, you can reward your child when he does not use his pacifier. For example, you can give him a small reward every time he sleeps for several hours without using a pacifier. FAQ frequently asked question. What can I replace my toddler's pacifier with? Natural, safe and affordable alternatives to a pacifier include a small piece of cloth, washcloth or a blank. You can put your toddler's favorite soft toy inside the blanket or on the inside of the blanket, just something to suck on. This will gradually reduce the need for a pacifier. Over time, you can eliminate the need for the other object as your toddler moves towards independence. How do I wean my 2-year-old off the pacifier? There are a few ways to help your toddler say goodbye to his pacifier. You can do it by starting small. Gradually, reduce the time that your toddler uses the pacifier until it is no longer needed. Another way is to replace the pacifier with a special blanket or plush toy that serves as a comfort for your toddler. This is an immediate replacement and will make it easier for him to move away from the habit of using a pacifier. How do I get my toddler to sleep without a pacifier? These include: a comfortable pillow and blanket will help your toddler get a good night's sleep. Be consistent. Don't let your child fall asleep with a pacifier in his mouth, and don't wake him up to put it back in when he wakes up during the night. Instead, give him another comfort mechanism like a blanket or stuffed animal to hold when he wakes up. How do I get my 3-year-old to sleep without a pacifier? Most toddlers will eventually stop using a pacifier on their own once they have the verbal skills to communicate with others. If you need to help your 3-year-old child give up the pacifier, you can try to simply not allow her to have it during the day. This will slowly and gradually lessen its importance in her life until she no longer needs it. After your child has fallen asleep at night, take away any comfort items, including the pacifier. Let her cry until she falls asleep. How do I get my 18-month-old off the pacifier? If you are still using a pacifier with your child, try to gradually reduce the amount of time that you allow him to use it and let it go completely. Gradually shorten the time that you allow him to use it. Take the pacifier away at night when you put him down for bed. Let him cry until he falls asleep. At 18 months old, he should be able to communicate with you, and he should know how to self-soothe without a pacifier. When should a toddler stop using a pacifier? Children usually stop using a pacifier between 18 to 24 months of age. However, some children stop using a pacifier before this time. Many children will eventually be comfortable and able to sleep without their pacifier. Some may continue to suck on other objects throughout the day and night until they are ready to give up their habit and move on to other ways of soothing themselves. Is it bad for a 2-year-old to have a pacifier? It is okay for a child to use a pacifier and enjoy it. But, there are some issues to be aware of. Children are sometimes given pacifiers as gifts for kids. If your child is given a pacifier as a gift, the baby will feel more comfortable with it when he has it. It is okay to give the pacifier as long as you know that your child is not getting used to having the pacifier all the time. Why does my 2-year-old suddenly want a pacifier? Children sometimes want a pacifier when they get ready to start school and go to places where it is not allowed. Also, most of the time, toddlers will grow out of the habit of using a pacifier. Like all other habits, it takes time for children to break them. The best way is to gradually reduce the amount of time that your child uses a pacifier by taking it away at bedtime until you have eliminated all the use of it from his life. How do I get my 2-year-old off the pacifier at night? The best way to get your child off a pacifier at night is to not allow him to use it during the day. There are several ways for you to do this. Put your child down for naps and bedtime without any pacifier. If you want him to say goodbye and stop, he can have a pacifier that goes in his mouth that he can suck on as long as he wants, then it will slowly help him be more comfortable without it. Do toddlers sleep better without a pacifier? Indeed, most children will eventually stop relying on the pacifier. In some cases, there are situations in which the pacifier can be helpful. Older toddlers may rely on a pacifier when they have trouble falling asleep, especially if they are sick. Some toddlers are unable to move towards sleeping without a pacifier. For these toddlers, the pacifier is an important way for them to sleep through the night and be comfortable enough to get up in the morning. Is it bad for a toddler to sleep with a pacifier? No. There are many reasons why a toddler may want to sleep with a pacifier. The pacifier is used for comfort when the child is sick. The child wants something in his mouth when he is going to sleep, and if it's the pacifier, that's what he wants. Is it bad for a 2-year-old to suck his thumb? It is okay for a 2-year-old to suck on his thumb, but it should not replace other ways that he can comfort himself. There are two main concerns about thumb sucking. The first concern is that it can become a habit and continue into adulthood, which can be a problem for adults who have such a habit. The second concern is that it can cause problems with speech and language development because the act of sucking or holding something in the mouth will interfere with speech. It depends on how much the habit affects your toddler's life. Is it bad for a 3-year-old to have a pacifier? It is essential for a 3-year-old to be able to self-soothe. If your 3-year-old is able to self-soothe, then it is okay if he wants the pacifier to help him sleep better at night. Some parents think it is not suitable for them, but some toddlers use pacifiers to comfort themselves when they are scared or upset. Your child may have picked up the habit from someone else and feel comfortable using a pacifier at night. Pacifier alternatives for littles? Sucking on a pacifier is simply a way for your toddler to self-soothe before moving on to other methods for comforting themselves. You can help your toddler work on different ways that they can soothe themselves by using a blanket, stuffed animal or baby doll. A toy or special blanket that is kept in a special place like their crib that they can reach out and hug, snuggle with at night when they are scared or feeling upset. Pacifier alternatives for infants? For new babies, pacifiers are used simply as a way to comfort them. There are many other ways to help your infant comfort herself. A special stuffed animal or blanket that you give your child that will be kept in a special place will help her be able to get the comfort she needs when she is upset. Try rocking her until she falls asleep. This can also be a way to help her learn how to fall asleep on her own without needing the pacifier for comfort. A weaning pacifier? Gradually reduce the time that your child uses a pacifier. Here is how you can do this. If she gets upset when she does not have her pacifier, let her have it in bed with her for a few minutes until she falls asleep. Then, take it away and let her cry until she is ready to sleep without the pacifier. Conclusion. In conclusion, children are prone to picking up habits during their formative years, and these habits can interfere with the child's well-being. A pacifier is just one such habit that needs to be broken before any serious problems occur. A reward system is a great tool you can use to break a child's reliance on the pacifier and other oral objects without resorting to punishment. This article offers some suggestions for parents who have struggled with breaking their child's dependence on a pacifier but have one or more suggestions that work well for them and their child. It also depends on the parenting style you choose to adopt. Finally, this is a family effort and is a trial and error process for everyone involved. 13 Pacifier substitute for toddler quiz.